There we go. So we took the wheels that were on the Festiva and stuck on the mini truck, and they fit perfect. They don't poke out real far. They work. They're a 4-on-100, so they just bolted right up. And then I took the mini truck wheels and threw them on the Festiva, and it doesn't look bad. I mean, they don't poke out or anything. I do have spacers on here, but the mini truck has new wheels until we figure something out for the Festiva. I don't know, they might stay on here. They do look really good. But here she is in the daylight. It has new tail lights. The guy I got it from put new tail lights in it. Four-wheel drive. I still got to figure the four-wheel drive out. It has an issue with the four-wheel drive control module. It's doing something weird. But here it is. It's got about 84,000 kilometers on it. And I thought it was weird the clutch is on the other side of the steering column than the brake, so your feet are on each side of the steering column. But there's a little four-wheel drive shifter. Here's the headliner. I did already put an LED dome light in, so that's brighter than it was before. There's the Mazda emblem for the front plate. This is a Suzuki, but somebody swapped the plate on the front of it. I'm gonna redo the door panels. I'm gonna do them in a diamond stitch. I just got to figure out what color and material and everything I want. And once I figure that out, we'll get started on that little project. And then before too long, we're gonna be getting this thing sanded down because it definitely needs it, and get ready for paint. I have a few ideas in store for what color I want to do. I haven't decided 100% yet, but I really like lime green. I saw one that was lime green and it just looked so good. So that, or maybe like a rust color. I haven't decided for sure yet, but we're gonna get LED headlights ordered for this because the headlights that are in it really aren't bad. I can see pretty well at night, but LED obviously is better. We ran into an issue on the mini truck. The wheels that I put on it that were off of the Festiva, they're not gonna work. Something in my steering is a little loose and it death wobbles. It might be a balance issue. I haven't really had a vibration on the Festiva with those wheels. I'm not sure, but I know that it death wobbles when I'm driving about 50, 55. It starts to shake really bad, and that's I guess just too much tire. I'm not too sure, but we're gonna go ahead and throw the old ones back on. Before we put them back on, I'm actually gonna paint them, so that's what we're doing right now. I've got the playing cards. This is how I've always done it. I don't have a tire machine, so I can't just dismount the tire, but I've got playing cards all the way around it. I got some primer here, and we're gonna go ahead and do it the same color as the engine bay on the Festiva here. It's a metallic dark copper. I just love that color. So we're gonna be doing those wheels. They're gonna be a little darker than these are. These are, I don't know how well the light shows, but these aren't really super dark. They do have a good bronze finish to them, but we're going to be doing these a little bit darker. I already hit them with the wire brush, cleaned them up a little bit, and I don't have any tape to tape off the valve stems, which I wish I did, but we're just going to hit them with some primer, get them ready to go, and once it dries, which I'm running out of sunlight, it's the shadows starting to run across my yard. Once primer dries, we'll get some paint on it, and then I'll probably do a few coats, because these, unless I can find some tires for these, we're probably not going to keep these on here. These are probably going to be the wheels that go on it, honestly, because they'll fit. They're universal 4-lug. We're going to get these sprayed, and hopefully they turn out decent. They're kind of rusty, but we'll see what happens. So I figured while we're here, I'm waiting on this primer to dry so I can start putting my paint on. So while we're waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can revive this bumper at all. It's kind of gray. It's not black like it used to be. So we're going to try the old torch trick and see if it will come back to life, or if I just get my bumper hot and melt it and we don't get anywhere. And I'm not too terribly worried about the paint because we are going to sand this down and prime it and paint it. So if I do scorch the paint, try not to yell at me too bad in the comments, but we're going to try to clean this bumper up a little bit. Alright guys, I don't know what happened. I thought I started the time lapse with the GoPro, but I guess I did not. So anyway, like I was saying, I was using the map torch here to bring this bumper back to life, and I know you didn't get to watch the video of me actually doing it, but you did get to see how kind of gray it was before, and it definitely brought it back to life. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I am going to pull the turn signals because parts for these little trucks are very expensive, and I'm going to pull these out and go ahead and get inside of here because I did not want to melt this housing or this lens. We got all up in there, so it's all shiny up inside there now. We got it on this side. I do need to clean the bug guts off the front bumper, but we'll get it. So it looks way better than it did. So now we're going to get back to these wheels, and we might run out of daylight before we get all 4 of them done, but that's how it usually goes. So I'm going to get some paint on these and see how they turn out. The wheels just, they didn't dry right. Something with the humidity, it made them kind of milky. So we're gonna end up probably redoing them. I might just do them a crazy, ridiculous color. I went and bought that paint hoping it would look good, and I'm sure it would have if it wasn't so humid outside, but this one back here is just the silver color that they have stock, and then that one's painted, but it didn't turn out great. So we might end up doing them like lime green or something, I don't know. Okay guys, we're in the house, and I'll show you. It's basically just the 4-wheel drive control module for the mini truck. And I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but this capacitor right here is brown on the top. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that. Oh, my GoPro is about to die. I don't know how well you could see, but we got the old electrolytic capacitor out. It definitely looks not too good. So we're going to get this new ceramic capacitor put in. It's in there. It's definitely smaller than the old one, but hopefully it will do its job. So this is the new capacitor right here on the board. This is a ceramic, and then this is pretty much what the old one was. Here's the actual old one. You can see it's kind of got some bubbly crap on top of it. So we got it in there. I've got to solder the back of it, and then once that's done, it's just go plug it in, or I got to put it back in its case and then go plug it in and see if it's going to want to work. and then if it does, we should have four-wheel drive. We went ahead and got the soldering done. I gotta snip the excess off on these little guys, but the new capacitor is installed. I'm gonna put it back in the case, go install it, and see if this new capacitor is gonna do the job. Turns out the four-wheel drive control module is not working. I put the capacitor on the board, I plugged it in, and it was doing the exact same thing it was before, which means I assumed that capacitor was fine. I don't know, but for some stupid reason the four-wheel drive control module just does not want to cooperate. It just clicks and makes all kinds of funny noises. I can't get the four-wheel drive to lock in. The light on the dash does not come on, so it's not engaging the front differential. But I've been doing some reading, and apparently there's quite a few people that have just bypassed the module completely, and I'm actually going to show you real quick. Down here there's two vacuum switching valves that are supposed to actuate the front differential to lock it in, because when you lock this into four-wheel drive, it engages the front drive shaft, but it just spins until those engage the front diff, and then you have four-wheel drive. So what I'm probably going to do is run me a toggle switch, bypass the entire control module, and just run power straight down there. I can't find schematics for this. There's someone that's selling like a digital copy, but I'm going to try to basically just get into those, check continuity, see which wire runs up, because I know it runs up under the dash somewhere. So I'm going to run continuity check and see where the wire runs, and then we're going to just put a toggle off the main incoming power to the control module behind the steering column, and then we'll put it on a toggle switch with a little light on it, so I can not forget that the switch is on and break something. But we're going to try to just hardwire it, and hopefully that works. Okay guys, I got the four-wheel drive on the little truck fixed. It was pretty straightforward. I grabbed power from the incoming power to the four-wheel drive control module, and then I just ran it to a toggle switch with a light on it so I can remember that it's on, and then I ran the output to the wire. It's behind here, and it runs underneath, comes through this grommet down here, and goes to these two vacuum switching valves that engage the front differential. And when it's engaged, a light comes on to let you know that everything's working. So hopefully I can demonstrate. So I'll turn the key on, lock it in four-wheel drive, turn the switch on, you see it come blue, and then four-wheel drive lights up. Turn the switch off, light goes off. Switch on, axle lock is on, four-wheel drive lights on. Turn this down, four-wheel drive is off. So everything is working. Turn the switch off, the axle lock light goes off. So everything works just like it would stock. I just don't have all the fancy safety features that are built into that little circuit board that I took out from behind the steering column. Those are very difficult to find. They're like pretty much $200 if you do find them, and then they're not even guaranteed to work. So we bypassed it, put it on the toggle switch, and me and Zach took it through the creek yesterday, and four-wheel drive is definitely working.
We got pretty stuck, which is why there's mud all up on the door, but it's definitely, the four-wheel drive is definitely working. We found someone camping back in here, so I don't know if they're about to come shooting at us or what's going on. I don't see them yet. But we're gonna try to get out of here. And I don't know that that's our best route, but that's probably the route we're gonna utilize.
Yeah, we just have to kind of go that way. Alrighty. You want me to keep on rolling? Sure.
Damn, it's slimy on them rocks.
I know, right? I'm trying to avoid getting soaking wet. That was not sketchy.
Starter does not like water.
Water and starter, no mixy. Huh.
Why does it look worse the closer we get to it?
Because it is.
Yeah, I'm not digging this.
I think if you just hug this right here. Oh yeah.
Go left a little.
Oh, you're good, you're clear.
I gotta take it out of 4. I can't drive it 4. We got stuck a couple times just because these tires on this thing are a 155/80. That one doesn't even say 80. This one does. It's right here, 155/80/12. So they're not very big tires. They're narrow. The wheels are only 5 inches wide. So we were driving through a lot of shale, which was really soft, and the tires just kind of cut into it rather than riding over top of it. So we did get stuck a few times, but fortunately this thing is so light that me and Zach grabbed the back here and picked it up and scooted it over about a foot to get it out of the rut that we had already cut and got stuck in, and it pulled itself right out. So this thing being so light it's an advantage because it does kind of want to go over things without wanting to sink in too bad. But if it does get stuck, you can pick at least the back up and move it over. So that's an advantage. It's going to get a bigger tire all the way around, and it's going to get a lift. I'm going to start sanding on the body, trying to straighten up any, you know, little dents that I can. I'm definitely not good at body work, but I'm going to do my best. And we're going to get the body, everything ready for paint. I'm going to do I haven't decided what brand yet, but we're going to be doing a bed liner back here, and I'm probably going to bring it over all the way over the edge and pretty much stop here at this this lip. So it'll have bed liner all the way out to here. Unless I change my mind, I might just keep it on the inside and paint the caps. I might see if I can track down the original like plastics or something aftermarket to go over, because you can see this has a bunch of sticky adhesive on it from it having a plastic cap over top of it, which looked good. It's just they're hard to find. And there is a guy that 3D prints these end caps. I'm sure he wouldn't be willing to hand out the STL file, but if I can figure out the dimensions and everything on this, I can 3D print them myself, and then we'll have end caps for the rails all the way around. So that's an option. We're going to get LED bulbs on the way for the headlights. I've got to clean all of these rock chips up. That's going to be fun because some of them are bad, like they're actual dents. They're not just chips. That one right there is a dent. This used to be owned by a construction company, so I've got to get what's left of that sticker off, and I'll probably build an off-road bumper for it because I do have a winch in the house that would be perfect for this. But we might go bigger because it's a 2,500 pound winch, but I don't know too sure about anchor points on the front and how much integrity we're going to have. But I definitely want to paint the battery cover. We're going to take the battery completely out, paint the cover and the tray it's sitting in. Here's some of the shell you can see that we drove through. We got pretty stuck a few times, but we're going to paint the frame rails, and we're going to undercoat the best we can everything. I'm going to try to get up under there with the paint can and spray it as best I can to keep it from rusting. And it's not super rusty. There's a few little spots, but it's nothing real bad. There's nothing under. If you flip up these little floor mats, it's not just rusting away underneath. So being from it was almost in Missouri, and that's where they start to kind of salt the roads up there, I was thrilled to see that it wasn't a rusty truck. And I gotta figure out something about this headache rack because it has a dent right in the center of it. I'm guessing somebody put a piece of tubing up there or something and bent it. I'm not sure. But I want to do something new for here. I've already found clamps that will go on these gutters right here to hold a roof rack. So we're gonna get, I'm not too sure on what size. I might just build one, but I want to put a roof rack up here. That way I can, when we do bigger tires, I can go ahead and have 5 wheels and tires so that I can throw my spare up here. Maybe that's an option. And I do want to throw some seats in the back so people can ride in the back and enjoy the ride. If we go on like a cruise night or a little car show somewhere, we can haul a couple people in the bed and we won't have any issues with where they need to sit. We'll just put a seat right up against the back of the cab. But she's coming along, but we're still on stock exhaust. It does have a pretty gnarly exhaust leak where the tubing comes into the muffler. Let me see if I can show you. Where the tubing comes into the muffler right there, the hole is kind of wallered out, so it's bigger than what it needs to be. So the exhaust needs to be redone for sure, but we're gonna get that done. I don't know if I'm gonna bring it all the way out the back or if we're just gonna bring it out the side with like a slip-on motorcycle muffler. I don't know yet, but she's coming together. We're gonna get it lifted, get some tires. I gotta get a windshield. There's a guy in Dallas that has a windshield that he said he would sell me for pretty cheap. The market for these windshields is pretty high, so they are expensive. But we're gonna try to get as many of these little dents out of here as we can and get it cleaned up and get it ready for paint. I'll take all the sides off when I'm doing the bed liner, and I'll just lay them out on a table over here and bed line them and let them sit and dry in the sun. That's the plan. Little truck's coming together, and we hit 250 subscribers, so that's pretty cool. And I guess the next journey is going to be trying to get to 500. There's the little truck. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And the Corolla, I've just been kind of driving it occasionally, trying to keep the miles off of it. The Festiva, it runs, drives, it needs an alternator, which is kind of difficult to come by, but the Festiva does run and drive. It's just when you drive it, the voltage goes from 10 to 15 volts and just kind of bounces back and forth. So we're gonna get an alternator for the Festiva, and then she's gonna be ready to rock. But that's the collection. We're getting there. Like I said before, thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back hopefully when we have a lift kit for this little guy and maybe some bigger tires.